Hi, AJ Hartley here, novelist, Shakespeare professor, fan of Japanese music and a lot of other stuff. And I thought that I would do a kind of end of year rap, not a rap song, nobody wants to hear that. Just a sort of a wrap up of what's been going on this channel this year and what I see coming in the future and various things that are going on in my life as an artist and scholar and so on. Last year around this time I did a kind of top 20 videos of like what people had been watching from the channel. I'm not going to do that exactly this time, but I will sort of update you on the big changes. In fact, let me pull up the channel. So if we go to analytics, if we go to 2021, and you will see from the listing here of which were the most watched videos that I had last year. At the top, Atarashi Gakko's Otonna Buru, somewhat surprisingly. Thank You Baby Metal, Shanty Shanty, a lot of baby metal stuff here. As you can see, that's the top 10. I'll leave it at that. Now if we go to 2022, you'll see that my top video of the year was my conversation with Tom DeLonge from Blink-182. I'll talk some more about that in a second. My next highest watched video was the most recent one, actually, for the baby metal stuff, the monochrome discussion, which actually is my most watched baby metal video ever, which I think is kind of interesting. I think there were a lot of reaction videos done because I don't know why exactly, because Shingeki didn't seem to generate the same kind of numbers, but yeah. And then we have the first part of the baby metal costume history video that we did, Shingeki from Dusk Till Dawn, and then interestingly the Atarashi Gakko video, which even this year is continuing to generate more views than most of my other stuff. Despite the fact that I've done a lot of Atarashi Gakko videos this year, and none of those is getting the same kind of attention at all. Arcadia, Shine, Midnight Diner, the Japanese TV show that I did a review of, also has got quite a lot of attention. And then the part 2 of the baby metal costume video. But there's a big difference in the numbers between the most popular stuff and the less popular stuff. And I'll say that because I kind of ran out of baby metal stuff to talk about early in the year, having reached the end of the Metal Galaxy album, most of the Japanese music videos I've done this year have been about different bands. Have been about, I mentioned Atarashi Gakko, but also Glimpse Spanky, Polka Dot Stingray, and a lot of others. So, and they don't get anything like the kind of viewership that the baby metal videos do. You know, if you haven't seen those, check them out, because there's a lot of really good Japanese music that isn't baby metal. Okay? You might sort of flip through some of those older videos from earlier in the year and see what else I've been listening to, because there's a lot of great stuff out there. So interestingly, where does this leave our lifetime viewership? So the Tom DeLonge video is by far the most watched video, and then the Atarashi Gakko Otonna Buru video still, then the monochrome, and so on down the list. So for some of these, some of these were from 2020, I guess. The Doki Doki Morning, Megitsune, Rondo, Shanty Shanty was from last year, Headbanger was from the year before. So, you know, it's interesting that only 2 new videos made this year. No, the baby metal costume history as well. 3 videos have gone into my most watched videos ever, but 2 of those have gone right to the top. So anyway, for what that's worth, it's kind of interesting. I think it's kind of interesting. One of the big changes this year, of course, is that I got an editor, Rue Metal, who, as I think you can see, has made a significant difference to the overall production quality of my videos, and it's hopefully part of the reason that I'm getting a little more views. So that's cool. So thank you to Rue Metal, and please, you know, when you comment, remember and share some love in their direction. The channel overall has like 300,000 views, couple of thousand subscribers, which is an interesting discrepancy. So, you know, if you have liked stuff that you've seen here but haven't subscribed, please do so that you don't miss anything. The site remains unmonetized. This is not going to change anytime soon. It's complicated, but it's because I have the YouTube channel, as I originally set it up, is connected to my university email address. That means I'm a state employee. It means I cannot make money off these videos. So unlike most of the reactors and such out there, I literally get nothing from anything that you see on this channel unless you buy one of my books or something. Do it. The most watched video on my channel is, as I said, the interview that I did with Tom. And funnily enough, I mean, we recorded that video back in March of 2022, and right after we turned the camera off, he told me that he was in the studio with Blink recording a new album, and they were going on this massive tour. I had to sit on that information for I think 7 months because it was not made public until October, and that kind of blew up the internet for a while there. I was amazed that they were able to keep it a secret for as long as they did, considering they must have been going into the studio all the time, but somehow it was kept off the radar. So Tom and I continued to talk about stuff that we're doing, and I'll be doing some more. I'll be doing another interview with him next year about working with Blink and going back on tour and doing that stuff. But also because Tom and I have just sort of nailed down the specifics for some new books. People are always asking when the next Secret Machines book comes out, and my answer remains the same. I don't know. That series will happen. The third Cathedrals of Glass book will happen, but I don't know when. They are tied up in complicated things that we can't control exactly, so no, Secret Machines 3 is not coming out anytime soon. That's not anything I have any control over. But there will be other stuff coming out, so keep your eyes open for that. I'll talk about that stuff in the spring. As far as other new books are concerned, I'll also talk about the new Hideki Smith book, which I will be releasing with my wife and son as co-authors, and I have turned in the macro edit, the developmental edit, to my UK and US publishers. So we'll be going into copy editing and cover design and stuff like that over the next weeks and months, and I hope to see the book out middle of next year, maybe late next year. I don't know exactly what the publishing schedule is, and there were some things that had to be figured out. Again, that's not something I control, so we'll see. Plus, I think the US publisher wanted to do it at one of the local conventions, which I'm probably not going to be able to do because I'm probably going to be in Japan in the summer. So yeah, I'll update you on the Hideki Smith book sometime in the new year, but that's also in the works and is coming out, and I'm really excited about it. And I think anybody who's interested in the sort of Japanese stuff that I do on this channel would find it fascinating as well, but I'll talk about it more later on. By the time you see this, you will probably also be aware I just did a video with David Hewson, who was my co-author on a couple of Shakespeare adaptations, a Macbeth and a Hamlet. The Hamlet novel has just come out and from Falstaff Books, and is available as in print and ebook and so on, in addition to the original audio edition, which came out a few years ago. So you might check that out. Likewise, if you haven't already seen it, Burning Shakespeare was also the book that I released this year, novel, time travel-y, fun, Terry Pratchett, Neil Gaiman-esque adventure about somebody who wants to wipe Shakespeare from history. These are, I should suggest, good holiday gifts. This is the extent of my marketing. What else? As far as creative stuff is concerned, I have a short story in a collection called Instinct, which will be released in the spring, which is a collection of fantasy short stories which center on animals, and the collection is a fundraiser for animal charities, for shelters for dogs particularly. So it's called Instinct, and there's some great authors in there: Jim Butcher, Faith Hunter, John Hartness, among others, and me. And if anybody has read any of my Will Hawthorne books, Act of Will, Willpower, etc., the short story in this collection is a will story. It's about a dog, modeled very, very clearly on my own dog, Sherlock, who is wandering around the house somewhere. Okay, what else? Academically, as you probably know, I've been working on a new edition of Shakespeare's Julius Caesar for Arden, for the Arden 4 series, which I've been working on for about 5 years, and I just turned in all the major files: text, commentary, textual notes, lengthy introduction, appendix, extracts from Plutarch, and so on. Only academics understand why this is a huge deal, if only because they're the only ones who know how much work goes into these things and how hair-tearingly maddening it is to actually, try to create a new edition of a play that's been around for 400 years. The project is by no means finished. There'll be ongoing editing and other stuff that has to be done, indexing and illustrations and various other things. So that is likely to sort of drag on for, months, maybe another year, but hopefully it will be, the bulk of the work is done. So I'm excited about that. What else? I have family coming for Christmas, and I have made a couple of different batches of beer. I have a nice oatmeal stout that I've made, and a really, really hoppy IPA, a Japanese-inspired IPA with really, really strong, dry hop content. Not to everybody's taste, but I like things like that. And that's really about it. So this is the end of 2022. Hopefully 2023 will bring good things, better things. I will see you on the other side. And till then, best to you and yours for whatever holidays you celebrate. And I'll see you next year. Bye. Thanks.